Well, I'm curious, what would you guess is the number one driver of unhealthy team dynamics? The biggest factor in creating a toxic work culture? I believe it is the conversations that happen behind backs. So often, when we're frustrated with a colleague, when we're irritated with a situation, rather than talking to them about it, we talk about them to somebody else. And I'll admit, I am guilty of this as well. In fact, I can remember a very specific situation. It was many years ago. I was working at Boeing and I was frustrated with a colleague. And what did I do? Instead of talking to them, I talked about them with another colleague. I was sitting in her cubicle processing the situation with her. And when I got up and left and walked down the hallway, I looked to my left in the cubicle next to hers, and guess who was sitting in that cubicle? The very individual that I had just been talking about. Talk about a hard lesson learned. And so when you are tempted to do this, I would encourage you instead to first spend some time processing the situation alone. Process it individually before you talk to anybody else about it. Perhaps you could just let go of it. Maybe it was something that irritated you, caused an emotional reaction at first, but now you've calmed down and you can let it go. Perhaps it's something that you need to address directly with that individual, and you can get yourself in a grounded state before you go and engage in that conversation. Or perhaps you realize, I really do still need a sounding board in this situation. And if that's the case, choose wisely. Maybe you discuss it with HR. Maybe you discuss it with your manager. Or maybe you engage a third-party, impartial individual who can help you process it further. And in that conversation, when you are using that sounding board, remember this. We want to honor the absent in that conversation. Honor the absent. Am I speaking about this person still in a positive way, or at least in positive light in terms of I want to see success in our relationship or in this individual in the future? If they saw a recording of that conversation later, even if it was hard information to digest, would they feel like you honored them in that conversation? We all play a role in stopping this stupid office gossip that causes such unhealthy team dynamics. And when you have a colleague who comes to you and starts to engage in such a conversation, I would encourage you to gently stop it. Either you call it out directly or you redirect the conversation, but you can play a role in minimizing this habit on your team. And it honestly is one of the most important steps to building trust within your team.